let's get into our looky
Oh,
there.
oh,
How about
oh,
that? Oh, wait, Darren, you need to bring that back up there. That was a little quick on the trigger there.
what's happening?
Uh,
It keeps jumping around.
my goodness gracious.
What's
Mm-mm-mm.
must be that new math. I don't understand what's happening. I don't.
Well, see, Darren, if you score more points than the other team, you win.
See, that's that new math. I'm a Vanderbilt fan. Don't get it.
I better stop saying stuff like that. We're going to get called up to call a game on Saturday. I mean, that's right up there with the brilliant announcing. Man, if he didn't make that tackle, he would have scored a touchdown.
Did you just put us in the 2:30 CBS spot? Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Congratulations on taking first place in our pick record here on the show. You are now one game in first.
I'd like to just I'm just happy to be here and to contribute to this team in any way that I can. It's a team effort, and so nobody gets here alone, and
That's
and
right.
so I want to acknowledge that.
A little insulting that you didn't thank the Academy, but whatever. All right.
Let's move on.
Please.
All right, we've got some picks to make this week. We're going to make them on the show, and I'm going to try to remember to actually make them online as well before Saturday. The Mississippi State Bulldogs are traveling up to Fayetteville to face the Arkansas Razorbacks, who are favored, but are also struggling and putting Sam Pittman's job in jeopardy. I think he's on the hot seat, even though they gave Alabama a battle, gave them all they could give him this past week. Does Arkansas turn it around in this game, Darren?
I tell you, the one thing I think we learned last week in that Alabama game is you can say a lot of things about Sam Pittman, but the one thing that still rings very much true is that he is a player's coach and he keeps the locker room. These guys aren't bailing. They are still giving everything they have, even when everybody's talking about the fact that you're just not going to win this game. You can't do nothing about this game. Your team stinks. We want your coach going. Even with all of that conversation going on, these guys came out. Even though it was a slow start, they still did not give up. When they had the opportunity, they took advantage of it. I think there are some things schematically and player performance-wise that can be improved that I feel like they will have the opportunity to do and will do in this week of practice. And I hate it for Mississippi State, but defensively and offensively, number one, we don't know where the QB is as far as is he going to be back, and I'm going to have to go with Arkansas. I'm not willing to be confident in anything Mississippi State is doing. So in Arkansas, with Arkansas favored, I think this is an Arkansas win.
I'm going to join you in picking the Razorbacks. I think Sam Pittman is a player's coach, as you mentioned, and I think despite the disappointing season, his players are going to go down fighting. I didn't see any semblance of quit in them on this past Saturday. And I don't think we're going to see it this week either. I think Arkansas pulls out a very much needed victory at home. That takes us to the 6th ranked Oklahoma Sooners against UCF and the fictional national championship team of what year was that?
Is that 2010, 2011, somewhere in the neighborhood?
We didn't win it, but we're going to put it on our stadium.
But we've got a banner.
If you say it enough, people will begin to believe that it's true.
Exactly.
I don't know if we have any UCF fans listening. We just lost them if we do. So
they're sitting right now in their living room with their national championship T-shirt on, mad.
I think this is going to be a big Oklahoma win. Everything's clicking for the Sooners right now. I don't see this being much of a game.
I agree completely. I think this is the perfect opportunity for Oklahoma to flex a little bit and show exactly the kind of power that they possess both offensively and defensively, and they'll take advantage of the opportunity. I think this could be a really, really long night for the UCF Golden Knights.
The 17th ranked Tennessee Volunteers are heading to Tuscaloosa to take on the 11th ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. Both teams coming off of big victories last Saturday. This is going to be a marquee matchup on Saturday. I think it's a 2:30 start, um, middle of the afternoon. Great game.
Mm-hmm.
Who you got, Darren?
You know, I think really honestly, these are two pretty evenly matched teams. And I think when you're, I think the simplest route sometimes is just to go with the home team. Because I feel like no matter what the spread is, and even though Alabama is favored, this is pretty close to a pick 'em game. And I honestly think if it was in Knoxville, I'd probably go with Tennessee, but it's not. So I'm going to go with Alabama. I think Alabama, because they have that home field advantage in a very tight game, will pull this game out. Who you think is going to who's going to pull this one out as far as you're concerned?
I'm going to go with the Tennessee Volunteers on this game. I think they go into
Nice.
Tuscaloosa, and they go back to Knoxville with another victory.
Wow. Boy, you talking about I will not have to convince any Tennessee fans that Josh Heupel is the guy if he beats Alabama back-to-back years.
South Carolina, at a disappointing 2-4, is traveling to Missouri to face the Missouri Tigers, who are very much alive. They're already bowl eligible, and they are looking to somehow maybe pose a threat to Georgia in the East. What do you think? South Carolina, Missouri, who you got here?
Well, let me say this first. When it comes to posing a threat to Georgia in the East, might want to pump the brakes on that a little bit, Missouri fan. Who knows what the season holds? But that being said, I think Missouri is the choice here. I think it's at home. They are on a roll. Outside of that first quarter of the Kentucky game, they have really shown some improvement on both sides of the ball. They've got the weapons, both on the ground and in the air. You know, this South Carolina defense, I am concerned for their well-being with Luther Burden. I mean, I know he had a little bit of an injury, but he ended up coming back in the game. This could be a night that gets him in the Heisman conversation before the night's over with against the South Carolina defense. I think this is, unfortunately for South Carolina, I think this has the potential to be a convincing Missouri win. Either way, it's a win, but I think it very possibly could be a convincing Missouri win. How about you?
I like this Missouri team. I like Brady Cook, the job he's doing at quarterback. I think he may be one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the country.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to go with the Tigers on this. The 8th ranked Texas Longhorns, coming off of a bye week, are traveling just a hop, skip, and a jump from Austin down to Houston to face the University of Houston Cougars off of a victory this past week. Nevertheless, Darren, I don't see this as being a close game. I think Texas wins, and they win big.
I agree completely. I just don't. Obviously, Texas has had some issues that have been exposed a little bit, but I don't think it's anything that Houston can take advantage of. I think this is a Texas win. I agree completely.
The 13th ranked Ole Miss Rebels are traveling to Auburn, Alabama to face the Auburn Tigers, a team that is in somewhat of a flux in Hugh Freeze's first year trying to find their identity. They're doing decent on defense. Offense is a disaster. Darren, when you look at this game, who do you have prevailing? You think Auburn can pull out a victory?
I do. How's that for a little bit of a surprise? You were probably expecting me to say no, but I do. I am concerned that I think I've used the exact phrase, they don't have a quarterback that can throw a forward pass. So that does concern me. However, this far in, I am convinced that Hugh Freeze can start to figure some things out. And this Ole Miss defense, yes, it was against LSU, their last time that they gave up a ton of yardage, but they have shown that weakness, that they can give up a ton of yardage. And Auburn's defense, even though I know this might not be saying much, is its strength. it being in Auburn, you've got an Ole Miss coach or a former Ole Miss coach that now at Auburn, and a current Ole Miss coach that most people think wanted to end up at Auburn. So it's kind of a weird dynamic there. There's so many weird things going on. I think this will mean a lot to Hugh Freeze. Probably step up, maybe even take back over the offense, even though somebody else has, been calling the plays or whatever. He might even do that this week. I don't know why. I just have a gut. I'm going Auburn in this one. I think they're going to pull off the upset. How about you?
Auburn has a few opportunities left to salvage their season. A win against Ole Miss would be one. They have the Iron Bowl coming up. I think Hugh Freeze is going to use that in a pregame speech to build up. It's going to be very emotional. At the end of the day, though, I think Ole Miss just has too much for them. I'm going to go with Lane Kiffin and the Ole Miss Rebels, and I'm going to let Lane Kiffin know that you picked against him.
Well, I'll just call myself a big game, and he'll take a swing at me and miss. Oh, that was not nice, was it?
Now, so I can let Coach Kiffin know, I'm going to need somebody to give me his cell number because I don't have any way to contact him.
So just leave that in the comments. Where's my there? Just leave that in the comments.
And I've never noticed if he's watched the show, but I kind of doubt it.
Who knows? He might comment. You don't know.
The 19th ranked LSU Fighting Tigers are hosting Army. That game is actually in Baton Rouge. Saturday night game. I mentioned in our preview episode at the beginning of this season that this could be a trap game for LSU, but I didn't anticipate them losing to Ole Miss. So maybe that woke them up, and the defense is improving and will come to play. I expect LSU to emerge from this game with a victory to make it another great Saturday night in Louisiana.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's going to be a successful Louisiana Saturday night. I don't see anything other than that happens for this one. It's going to be a fun night in Baton Rouge.
So remember to join in on our CBS Sports Pick'em bracket, the Brew and Shavers Pick'em. Look for that under CBS Sports College Football Pick'em. Our password is Pick'em 1234 exclamation. We'd love to have you be a part of it this week.